Yep.
Hey,
Hi, Kellen. How are you?
hi. Better now.
Better now.
hmm Had a weird start to the day, but otherwise all good. All good. You? Haven't
Excellent.
seen each other.
Oh,
Haven't
we
seen
just
each
like
other.
exactly. We haven't seen each other for ages, right? So it's nice to
Yeah.
see you. You're still alive.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, Kellen, welcome to our first webinar on AI Unfiltered. So we're not going to talk about that AI is amazing, this and that. Hey, Israel, thank you for joining.
Right.
Well, other folks can also join by camera if you want, because we want to make it very interactive and fun event for us. So it's not a usual webinar, not going to give a lot of technical details here. So if other folks wants to join, please go ahead.
This is what you promise.
I know, I know.
This is what you promise. Don't be with technical details. By the end, they're gonna be like, oh no, they lied to us.
Exactly, exactly. Well, so we have a few folks joining. Very good. I'm gonna get this is good. Shankransh, you are there?
I am. I'm not sure if I've joined as a panelist or what. Have I?
It's fine. Everyone is panelist here because we wanted
Okay.
to make sure that everyone can have a very good discussions here. Okay,
All right. Hey, Callum. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
excellent. Well, folks, so let me first take one thing. Uh, I wanted from where are you here? Perfect, perfect. And I'm going to share a screen just to tell all the people what to expect. Okay, here we go. And I will do slideshow. Okay, everyone. So this is AI Unfiltered. We will talk about asset managers and how AI helps them. Hey, James. Nice. Thank you for switching on the camera. And we have here today, we have Callan. We're going to introduce ourselves very quickly. So what we want is, since it's a very cozy crowd, so you can open your cameras and mic. It is really a session to share experiences, good, bad, funny, maybe which makes you pissed off. That's also is okay. You can ask anytime any questions and you can raise your hand. So that's how we're gonna make it a lively discussion. Okay. I will like to first give Kalin few minutes or seconds to explain who are you and what exactly you do, Kalin.
Well, thank you everyone, and especially Govinda for the invitation and for being the first one.
Yes.
I'm the founder of Solar Notions. What I've been doing is I've been working with operational assets for the past 6 years or more, so mainly solar. Now I'm forced to learn storage also. As a as an engineer, I always stayed close to technology until I reached a point where I realized that we have amazing technology, but it's very hard to adopt it. So the mission of and why it's hard to adopt it, it's also because people don't have the attention span, being stuck on a lot of processes and monkey work and so on. So I'm laying the foundations for what we're going to talk later. But Solar Notions, this is what it does. It helps O&Ms, asset managers, IPP, how to transform their operations from where they are today into operations that can run on automation, that can be more efficient, that can scale, and that can be fast. And for the record, I think I've been playing with all different levels of AI since university. Actually, when I was having my optimization courses in control systems, all the way to now working with agents, and literally in some cases 10xing my work, and joking about MD files with Govinda instead of talking about something else when we meet for beers.
That was funny. Yes.
So
Colin, no, thanks. Thanks for very nice introduction. Just one thing I would like to know that tell us something about funny about you which people don't know.
oof, funny about me is that I have a very weird sense of humor. Generally, I'm Romanian, and I like very dry humor sometimes, but I discovered that kind of dry humor doesn't work in other places than in Romania. So quite often I find myself in this awkward situation where I tell a joke and I was like, crickets.
I'm Romanian too, by the way.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Well, originally from Romania.
Okay, so the
Which
Romanian have dry humor, is it?
yeah.
Give an example. I don't know. I know dark humor, but I don't know what his dry humor is. So give us example.
Well, dry humor, you would laugh about it if you understand the context, but it's more that the humor comes from roughly the sadness or the absurd of the situation. So it can borderline go into dark. I don't know. And also the thing is, you lose in translation things. So if it has to be said in the language, because sometimes it's a play upon words and everything. And when you translate it, you lose it. And
Lost in
it's just,
translation.
it's just like AI. If it has the right context, you get it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Israel, you're the next. Tell us about you and one funny thing.
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer. I have a PhD.
Israel, can you keep your camera a bit stable?
Yes.
It's moving quite a bit. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Mechanical engineer. I have a PhD in analytical engineering from UC Davis in California. I worked for more than 35 years for Rafael in the field of rocket propulsion and
Wow.
other explosive systems, and in general for missiles. And since my retirement about 12 years ago, I worked as a freelancer in various positions, also traveled a lot around the world. And the last almost a year, I started to work for Covinda. I have some roots in solar energy because my project, my last year in Technion, I studied in Technion, was to build a solar collector, a parabolic solar collector with traction of the sun. And for after completing my studies, I worked for 2 months to build a solar house. This was for 35 years ago, but
Oh,
I
wow.
just got married, and I was those time I didn't have a car, and I had to travel 8 hours away from home. And just after 2 months, I decided not to go, and I worked for 1 year in air conditioning, and then started at Rafael, which, as I explained previously, I finished around 12 years ago, and since then worked in various positions freelancer.
Excellent, Israel. Yeah, no, thank you. This is lovely to have you here. James, would you like to say about you one line and something funny? or anyone else. I'll just gonna name it. We have a very cozy crowd here. Pamela, Shafiq, Vaibhav.
By,
Anyone?
by
Their microphone is okay.
Yeah, Vaibhav is here. Hi, Vaibhav.
Hello.
Pleasure to have you here.
Same,
Yes,
same.
about
Nice to
you
meet you
and
guys.
something funny, which people don't know about you. Yeah.
Yeah, I work at a mini grid company that builds solar mini grids in Africa, in Nigeria specifically. I lived in Tanzania before that. Something funny about me. That's something I don't know. What is funny about me?
Or people
Um,
didn't know about you. Like looking at you, Vaibhav, no, he won't do it. Like something like that.
uh, I don't know. This is now my um, fourth country that I'm living in longer term. So that's so every time it feels like oh, it's an adventure, but actually it's a lot of adjustment and visas and all kinds of. So somehow it's I think I'm a bit of I like to put myself in trouble. Like as soon as I'm stable somewhere, I move somewhere else. That's a
Okay.
problem with me.
You love instability. That's a
It
very
seems like
nice
it.
way to put. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Non-equilibrium. Okay. Nice to have you, Vaibhav here.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Pamela, James, would you like to say something?
Yes. Good morning. I'm Pamela Wilkinson. I do live here in the United States, and
Nice.
I was asked to jump on this call through my Vice President of Operations, John Schaefer. So I'm here as an observer and to learn more about your company. And that's about it.
Pamela, I know like what James sent it, but this session will be super funny, and we're not going to talk a lot about the company, but really talk about our lives as someone working in solar. But we'll have fun.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
love to have you also talking, not just observing. Anytime
I'm
you
going
feel like jumping in, okay?
to. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love.
Excellent. James, would you like to say something? Your mic is you're muted. Okay. Shafiq?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I'm on road. There would be some disturbances, but I'll
No
give
worries.
you a quick introduction. I'm Shafiq Warsi, basically located out of Mumbai, India.
Mhm.
Uh, so I've been in this field for a decade now and have worked with a lot of IPPs, consultants, and so on. Uh, so yeah, very interested in listening to what you guys have to say, as the AI has become the buzzword for now, and IPPs and even consultant, everybody's talking about AI. So let's see what new things are in progress in solar specifically or the renewable domain. Yeah, so happy to join. Thank you for keeping this session. We'd be glad to hear from you guys.
Thank you, Shafiq. Lovely. Hi, Mulenga. Nice to thank you for joining. Few words about yourself. You're mute. You're mute. Yes. You're on mute, Mulenga. If you'd like to say something about yourself. Let me see. Okay, okay. Whenever you get the chance, no worries. Okay, great, guys. So, Israel, your camera is still again went up. So, perfect. That looks good. Yeah. No, no worries. I'll keep pointing it out. Okay. So, thanks a lot, everyone here. My next question goes into to Colleen to start with. First impressions of AI, because we want to talk about AI. And I want to ask one very particular question. When did you feel AI was dumb? Colin, from your experience. But
I
everyone
ne
had this experience when AI was dumb. We'll come back to all of us. We felt that AI was dumb or AI
I
is dumb.
think I
Yeah.
think I never lost my excitement and call AI per se dumb, because here's the thing. Um I have to say where I started from. I started from a very high volume of work. And I have this theory about the nature of work in O&M and asset management, is that there's three components of it. It's volume, it's diversity, it's complexity. Humans can handle only one high and the other one's low, but the expectation is you do everything high. So I've been for a few years in that. So the moment that AI or different forms of automations were released, I was always exciting. I'm still excited. Maybe it's interesting to say that now I feel that I'm not using it enough, so I'm the dumb one. But I think it was in 2024, in the summer of 2024, where I was still frustrated that it didn't have the ability to put pieces together. But then I realized it was not the intelligence that was built in, it was the agentic part that was missing, because there were two components. I was happy with how intelligent ChatGPT was, but the problem with ChatGPT was the context size. So then I went to Gemini, because Gemini had a very big I think they were the first one with 1 million tokens, which was great, but Gemini was not even close in terms of intelligence. It was after they discovered Claude and everything. So I was in between that, and there were still chatbots. So that was the limiting factor, because it was still in the chat and you would still have to do all the mechanics. Looking now is that they can do more mechanics than I can command or control. So I think it was a pretty decent evolution.
Okay, no, that's an interesting thing. You have a lot of confidence on AI. That's perfect. I would like Israel to take this. Israel, I'm sure. Just unmute. You kindly unmute yourself. Yeah. Wait, maybe I can do that for you. No, you're still on the mute. You're still on mute, Israel. No worries. Other folks who have joined, you can open your cameras and we can all speak together. So Fergus, you have joined it, so feel free to jump into this discussion. Weber, did you feel any time that AI is dumb? Any anecdote you would like to share?
Sure. I mean, several times, I guess. It's for my side, I both use mostly Cloud Code, but sometimes Codex on my side. But then one of the things I made with that was like an O&M bot for our company. So sometimes what I've made acts dumb. Sometimes what I use acts dumb. Often I think it spins its wheels. I feel like when um, sometimes it gets stuck in metacognition. So for example, if I've had this issue with Claude where there was something I was manually editing the settings file and I made a mistake. And then every time it would start, it would just say, there's an error with settings. Oh, let me fix it. This is the way to fix it. And then it would fix it. And then I would restart it and it would say, oh, but there's this other error. And it would fix it. I'd keep going between those two. And I was like, wow, you're like the smartest coding model. And how can't you figure this out? And it's a simple JSON file, right? So it's a little bit, or yeah, when it's trying to set up Kimi K3 and all the bots are like confidently telling me, oh, it can be done and Cloud Code will use it. And then over time, say, no, actually, it won't use it in this condition. It won't use it in this. Okay, so have you figured this out? Have you not figured this out? So sometimes it feels like it's something that a human would have paused and said, no, I think I'm doing this wrong. That metacognition is still a little bit missing.
Yeah. No, that's right. Like sometimes you're just stuck in a loop, actually. No, excellent. Israel, yes. Anytime you felt AI is dumb.
Colleen, you mentioned complexity, quantity.
Complexity. It was complexity, intensity, and volume.
Complexity, intensity, and volume. Okay. Intensity I missed. I also use a lot, most of them, at least 4 of them. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and sometimes Grok. Sometimes, and I have a lot of problems sometimes. I mean, I cannot rely on the response. Usually what I do, I copy the memory from one and paste it in the other, so I can actually compare two results, and many times they are not the same. So it reminds me the days when at my studies in the early 70s, when I started to use this how do you call it, that that you
Computer. Calculator.
not a calculator, but the
We lost your screen again, Israel.
The punch card machines
card
with
thing?
it's like a line that you move inside the lines and calculate logarithms and
yeah. Log tables, right? Log tables.
not log tables. It's a physical device.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't want to continue it. I did not rely, and every time I did my calculation aside, I calculated with this device and then calculated aside. So what I do is the same with the chatbots. I do one and I do the other, and then think, logically it could be or not could be. We really cannot rely, especially in important things on these chatbots. Not now. Maybe in 5 years from now it will be completely reliable, but right now, no.
Okay.
Well, I want to have a disclaimer, is that, and I know we're gonna speak about this at a certain point, is that I do trust the AI to do work that I make sure that is clear, but I trust more my filter once it comes out. So it's not like blind trust. It's just I trust it to do a lot of mechanical work. That's the thing that I do trust, which is, it's mainly time saving.
Not to say that it's something amazing. Yes, super amazing. You can do things that you cannot imagine in time constant that you cannot imagine. So although I mentioned some disadvantages, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Israel. My thing, like when I felt that this is really dumb, so I use sometime Claude Chrome to fill something, like to filter out and get into LinkedIn and stuff. Okay. And I miserably failed. So I have a form to fill because you have. So once I felt that, can I apply my Swiss taxes using Claude Chrome? So I filled that, gave all the data. These are my financial, and fill it. I had to pay 50,000 of the tax. I'm like, that's not possible. I don't make that much of money. I'm like, okay, no. All these important things, I do it manually. I'll get a bloody human, because then the human I'll catch. Here, I can't go to Claude, right? To say that you made me pay 50,000 of taxes. Okay, this is good.
I did my taxes too, and it went well. I didn't ask to fill it online. That's what I asked the human, but it ran like a charm. It saved me at least 10 hours of work, and it was done right.
Okay, good for you.
I just want to take this opportunity. I guess some of you, or maybe all of you, know about this quite new application, which is called Base 44. And if you don't know, do yourself a favor and know it. It's something amazing. Base 44, a guy, probably genius, super genius, that in 6 months he actually make an exit of $90 million with this application. base 44. It does everything.
That's a good input from this question. Okay, let's go to next question. We have a lot of questions to ask. Okay, so again, I will go to Colleen first. Before and after ChatGPT. So you were an asset manager, I think still kind of with your brain, and now you're on venture helping other managers to manage their assets, right?
Yeah.
Take us through a journey, and let's take it like maybe a couple of minutes. That before ChatGPT and after ChatGPT, what couple of things you felt that really helped me out? And this is more practical for many folks.
First of all, it was only in 2025 that any of the large language models were able to do significant work, because in order to explain what's before and after, I just need to get a bit into the universe of an asset manager, of personal universe. An asset manager needs to have very good technical knowledge, but it doesn't do per se technical work. It's a decision maker and it's a pusher. More or less, it's like this. It's a very operational job where you need to make decisions fast, process things. And the problem with most of these roles is that you get stuck in monkey work, filling in forms, gathering data, etc. Because the junior.
Can you give an example, Kellen? Can you give an example of one? What is that monkey work? Like one example. Those who are not coming from asset management world.
No, monkey work meaning, I don't know. This may not be per se monkey work, but let's take, for example, that you get data from 3 different sources and you kind of manually need to put it all together. Pre-Claude, let's put it like this, because I'm heavy Claude user. You would have to go paste the columns, verify line to line, or if you're able enough, which I did at a certain point, write your own Python script that does that. It takes forever and you lose a lot of time. But then you just dump everything in, and of course afterwards you're probably going to get with a certain automation or a routine, and it puts it all together. My favorite example here is a recommissioning. So a recommissioning is when the plant is shut down for whatever reasons and needs to be put back up. And the company that did the shutdown, they had to measure all the strings. So this happened last year. Last year, 2025. So in 2025, the technician that was measuring the strings had a sheet of paper, an A4 sheet of paper with per inverter with all the strings, and used a multimeter. Highly likely it is a multimeter. You press a button and it records the measurements, but no, they had by hand with the blue pen fill all those things in. And when I asked for the measurements to give my go if the plant can be recommissioned or not, the project manager said, I'm going to give you what I have. And he just sent me WhatsApp images of every sheet of paper scanned. So, I mean, this is like bad practice digitalization at its finest. So at that moment, I had 2 options. I had option 1. Am I going to go give that guy shit and ask him to go back and scan, put everything in an Excel table, or I try to sort it out with AI and just shame him for just not doing his work properly? At that moment, I think there were 30 pictures and Claude was only allowing 10 pictures per prompt. In 10 minutes, I had the table with all the data in ready. And speaking about metacognition, sometimes it even would go far, and it knew my rules. It knew all the best practices. Since I contribute writing them, I had them in memory. And it immediately said, hey, these strings are not good. You should, and it already flagged them. So this was 10 minutes of work that a year before would have meant maybe 2 hours of back and forth and 3 to 4 hours for someone to put in mechanically the data. So getting back to your question, I wouldn't say Chat GPT because in solar, Chat GPT is a bad choice to use. And I stand by this. It's very good for consumers. You take pictures and everything. If you want to do something that is professional, use Claude. Maybe Gemini if it's in your stack, but I wouldn't rely on that. So it's, in terms of expertise, it's not. But what is before and after? I think in terms of AI, because I don't know how well everyone is familiarized here with AI, but AI is a big family of things. What we're speaking right now, we're speaking about agentic AI, which is like at the top of it, with large language models, which are just behind, but below there are deterministic pipelines with expert algorithms. This is all AI. And my philosophy, and this is what I work with my clients, is that don't deploy an agent with AI unless you actually need it. You only use that for fuzzy work where you kind of need to piece some things together. But in the end, and I references the work that I did with, David Moser. I had him on the podcast, and he said 90% of the work can be automated. And of course, I believe him, but at the same time, automating 90% doesn't happen with ChatGPT. It happens with taking a lot of monkey work, like scanning documents, filling in things, making sure you have a single data source, having the ability to do things that usually takes longer by just putting in common sense automation, which is deterministic. It doesn't require a large language model. And only then you can put it in. Like, for example, you, as an asset manager, you get a lot of reports, preventive maintenance, corrective maintenance. You don't have time to go through every single one of them. Here, you would want to have an agent with a large language model that would process that. Then, and this is one of the challenges that your team always launches, like, hey, this is the graph, ABCD, which is the fault, and because they tag me, I get into the game, and with the last one was, I think it was either an inverter fault and the grid fault. And I was like, yeah, but you don't know which is which. And then in the comments, they said, well, because they look at other things. It's, duh, you look at other things, but you just showed that the game is rigged.
True.
It looks more like a casino than like an actual thing. But the truth is that given the nature of the role, an asset manager doesn't have the mental space to process and to fuse a lot of data that is not pre-structured in a pipeline, and you cannot for everything structure a pipeline because it takes a while. And I think that's where after the GPTs and the large language models started to change. But it's that and the agentic part of AI, because an asset manager needs work to be done. It's not, I need help to make decisions, but I need help to collect the data, so a RAG system, and then to act upon it.
Kellen, no, thanks a lot for going in detail. But for us to understand, so as an asset manager in daily, if you say that I do 5 tasks, and I would like to know what are those 5 tasks daily you do, and out of those 5 tasks, which one you feel that today's AI is capable, and the other task you will say that, guys, don't do it, it's bad. So just take us through a daily life of an asset manager and take us through like those major 3 or 4 or 5 tasks. Yeah.
well, you know that it's not the same because you do work at different levels. But if I would say, what does one supposed to do in one day is, first of all, you would have to handle any emergency that comes in your plant, the intensity part, which is not something that you can automate because it's very inherently human. However, it's a lot of coordination that can be automated, and I think it
Kellen,
has.
can I just put one anecdote on that one?
Yeah.
So when some, let's say, spike happened, yeah, I'm asset manager, something came from the plant. We had one friend, or let's say asset manager, where she will receive images of the inverter or some broken part by WhatsApp, and she has to process and tell them, oh, what is the root cause of that? And then what she started doing is, like, she started using one of our tools to just put those images, and the tool will say something XYZ. I don't know whether it was right or wrong. I hope it was always right. And she was constantly using quite a bit. Now, if you have to do that, do you think that such AIs should be able to handle spikes? Let's say failure in a solar plant.
Yeah, but yes, and it's not the same thing, because an asset manager shouldn't do a root cause analysis for starters. That's the O&M job. So
Okay.
if it reaches the asset management team, let's say, it makes sense, but that is not the role of the asset manager. The asset manager receives input, makes decision. Sadly, it doesn't have the luxury of going into these troubleshooting routines.
Got it.
So, but here's, I'm going to lay down the task, and then I'm going to speak where it matters. So first would be, you would monitor, you would do some form of shadow monitoring, be up to date with it. And what I want to show is that a lot of the things in asset management, like, this is the amount of information that you need to channel into information that is ready to make decisions on. Then probably you would have to handle either an emergency or a spike or whatever. You have reports to process. Then you would have data to present and to run analyses. And then you would have your, I'm going to call them your milestones that you need to manage. So for those of you who are not familiar with the kind of tasks that asset manager does, is it manages the life cycle of a plant. So the moment that it's commissioned and it reaches commercial operational date, then it's provisional acceptance, first year testing, final acceptance, and then every set of years you need to run like a state of the plant, which is inspections, data analysis, etc. And you need to issue certificates. So this is a lot of paperwork, bureaucracy that also happens. So if you ask me, what would be the goal? I would say the goal is, you need to liberate the time and attention of an asset manager to do the work that is inherently human, making decisions, making calls, and also interacting with other humans. Often it's the panic factor that you need to manage, and I had to manage that quite a lot. And in this case, where automation would make sense is processing information. So having information that comes in different mediums, like you said, in WhatsApp, over email, over a phone call, whatever. And it needs to be put into the system as automatically as possible, because the system needs to carry, and you always need to have this type of data that is structured, that is ready for you to make a decision, but also ready for you to share. The second thing is, in terms of outputs, everything that is mechanical, filling in a template, certificate, copying information from here and there. If you have the information in one place, putting an asset manager, which is someone with a master's degree plus 5 years of experience, it's a total waste of your money to have that person filling in paperwork. That's, again, something to automate. The third thing to automate, which is very inherent to an asset manager, is coordination. You need to send a lot of emails here and there. So let's take a very concrete example of a spike. There is a fire in one inverter. When this happens, it means that you need to trigger your insurance, you need to chase your O&M, you need to appease your investors, you need to speak with your real estate owner. That is same message that you need to send, but you need to send it to 5 different destinations according to 5 different contexts and capacity to understand. That means you're the worst thing that you can do is write one email and send it to everyone with a lot of people in CC, because some would be panicking, the other ones would not be reassured. So here what it can do is simply to have the body of information and then adapt it to each. You would send a certain thing to your real estate who owns the building, another thing to your insurance, another thing to your O&M, another thing to your boss, and so on. And just doing this gives you the ability to actually make the phone calls and do the heavy lifting that it is. And of course, monitoring, because when it comes to monitoring, I've seen that many systems still give you, for the same issue, 2 alarms, which creates the alarm inflation. And I remember when I was speaking with your team a few years back, I was telling them your tool is amazing, but your tool stops at insights. Me as an asset manager, I need stuff to get done. I need to take the insights out of the computer and get the work done. And that part of making sense of several alarms and history and everything, that is also a very important avenue to automate, because it does indeed save time.
Absolutely. I think, like, if I have to conclude on your state, which is the most important aspect in our webinar, that the first is, like, when the spikes are happening, like, how do I keep sane and still able to make a good decision when data is consolidated in one place? This is great. The second point you mentioned about is emailing, as good as emailing out, managing different stakeholders, not with one messages, but different messages that AI should be able to handle.
Yeah.
And the third part is definitely the daily monitoring, because monitoring, you get like multiple alarms from different sources. Then what is that distilled version which is actionable at the end on the ground, right? So that's also this intelligence can come from AI side. So Kalino, this is really beautifully put. I would like Vaibhav.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Israel, please go ahead.
I'd like to ask Kalin. The pace that you describe here is a little slow compared to what happens to AI today. What do you think about, let's jump a year from now or 2 years from now and think about an asset manager AI, not a person, but an AI that is the asset manager. The way I see it today, the way it advances, the way that even they want to a little bit stop it from advancing. Right now, OpenAI stopped a little bit the advance because it's too rapid. What do you think about? We are talking about AI as a helper, but what is your view about AI as being the asset manager?
I love this question, and it has three answers. Number one, I would love to have an AI asset manager, O&M, and also a robot. And this is very important because we're speaking about AI that lives in the cloud in your devices. But let's also look at robots that go in the field and do work and can be on site. They don't care about shitty weather and so on. I would love that. The problem is that you cannot hold AI accountable. And a very important part of asset management about O&M, it is about accountability. So it is about accountability, making decisions, owning them. And that's something that is inherently human. An AI can assist, can do a lot of work that can be automated, but it cannot own the decisions.
Well, I disagree. The things are going very rapidly in health.
Can you take an AI to court?
Well, it's the same like with the automobiles, with the automated cars. Can you take a car that makes an accident to court? This is a question of reputation.
No, but there's the example between Waymo and Tesla. Tesla still asks you to be in front of the steering wheel.
Well, right now, this is not the objective. The objective is to have a.
But I've seen. I was a week ago in London, and I've seen one of the prototypes of, I think it was Waymo, without nobody in the car. It's fine, nobody's in the car, but in the end, there is something in terms of our adaptability, because an LLM still, it is a trained algorithm that requires context, that requires data, that requires internet connection sometimes, or it requires a lot of energy. Once you run out of juice, your AI is dead. So there is, I don't see it as replacing it. I see it as taking over a lot of things that to be a bit more poetic, we sacrificed our humanity to do machine work. Now the machine can take that back so that we can be more human in the work that we do.
Well, there is a lot to say about this. I don't want to take the time, but generally speaking, I think that asset managers, other things it's not only a helper, it will be, us will be the second place and they will be the first place. So
they have to. And what you're saying, I completely agree with you. And I want this to happen. Don't get me wrong. I want robots to take over a lot of the first line of work. It's also an industry limitation. It doesn't matter. We can have as many smart Helios because on the market. But the thing is that there aren't enough people to act upon the decisions. That's one thing. The second thing is, and I'm going to make the parallel with the grid. Now, the reason why we cannot deploy more renewables, energy prices are spiking, and when weather is going crazy, or when we have issues with oil and gas, is because the grid cannot allow for renewables to move faster, to be adopted and integrated. Same goes with AI. AI in an organization is as good as its arms, legs, eyes, and ears. If you don't connect your system, you don't have a unified data model, data pipelines, everything interoperable. So you don't have this interoperable foundation of your data and of your software, then AI cannot do anything, and it's a structural ecosystem limitation. You can have the best LLM, but the LLM is going to be stuck in a box without arms and legs.
Thank you, Colleen.
Folks, thank you. We already passed our time, but I think it's a great discussion and it's a debate. I want to end the session with one last question. Here it is. Funniest anecdote from using AI. I will start first, and then I'll let other folks to join.
Can you repeat it? I didn't understand. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. The funniest thing happened while using AI with you. Okay. And I'll explain. When I give you my example, I'll explain. So a couple of months back, I think it was in February or March, I started playing with OpenClaw. So like, okay, I want to build OpenClaw on my laptop. It's local. It understands me. I want to replicate Govinda. I call it Govi AI. And just to test it out, I told OpenClaw, which was Govi AI, hey, start interacting with my colleagues. And I want to know how was your day and what's going on, what's your motivation level and all this stuff, right? Because now there are like more than 30, 40 colleagues. I cannot reach out to everyone every day. So what I did was like I threw OpenClaw, I connected Slack, and I said, okay, send messages and ask how is the day, what's going on. And it was so funny. I'm gonna give you on a screenshot. Yeah. Can you see, guys? Let me make it big. You see, should I zoom it?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, yeah. So, okay. So the first Govinda asked, hey, the name of the guy full. How did today with the S apostrophe, morning scrum feel to you? Question mark. That's not me totally. I will be like, how was the morning? That's it. And do question marks after that. Okay. The person did reply because it's the boss asking, right? Hello, Govinda. Today's scrum was fine. There was a bit of discussion that normal but feel expected in this transition phase. Okay. So that person felt it. Look at the bizarre answer I gave after that, my AI. That makes sense. Since we are moving into build mode now, I have no clue what the build mode is. I want to make sure that we are aligned on the business. No clue. No clue here also till now. How you're feeling? And now I ask another question. How are you feeling? Direction we are heading with Gaia. And when I read, so I pinged it and I went to grab a coffee, came back, I'm like, no, 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 no. Of course, the person will knew that it's not me. And then after that, of course, my colleague did not reply to me and it stopped doing it. So that was really funny. And that happened with some people really realized after first question itself, some actually went on answering and AI was back and forth doing it, start interacting with that person. But soon everyone realized it's not Govinda at all. Well, that was a funny thing from my side. To anyone, Weber, Israel, Kalin, or
Yeah, I
even
have
Pamela, Shafiq,
I have
James,
a
please
funny
jump in.
things
This is
too.
the last one.
I have
Okay,
a funny things too.
go ahead,
One of,
Israel.
one of my friends sent me an WhatsApp message, and I answered, and he answered me. I didn't like his answers, so I pasted his answer into, I don't remember, it's what, ChatGPT or Claude, and I asked him to answer, and ChatGPT answered, and I sent this answer, and my friend answered, and ChatGPT answered, and it was for maybe 6, 7, 8 times. At one point, I felt uneasy because it was like the beginning was funny, but then it was like cheating somebody. So somehow I finished this with my own response, and that's my funny thing that I want to.
Yeah, now I stopped. I don't send my AI to start answering. No, no, I don't do it. It just feels weird, actually. Colin, Weber, you have something to share?
Yeah. When we have this O&M bot that we're testing. I have a trainer generally who trains our customers, and then I was developing the bot, and we said, okay, let's do a little bit of a soft launch, and so that the bot can start listening to messages, so that it gets context before we start enabling the response. We had not, I had forgotten to put the filter that only respond when spoken to, so it got added to the group. And for 5 to 10 agonizing minutes until I could deploy the fix, it was live responding to customers. But on the other hand, also the trainer was like, is this really doing it? Is it just doing it? And it was doing really well. So we were like, okay, we didn't, piss anyone off, but those were very, very agonizing 5 minutes until I said, okay, don't respond until you're spoken to.
Imagine like you
But
try
it
to
was
shut it off. Like Weber, like do you imagine even if you shut it off, you put the computer down, like your laptop shut,
takes
till it's
it takes
talking,
time to
till it's
deploy,
talking,
takes time.
like a ghost.
Okay, can't stop it. Yeah, but
Oh,
no,
that's
so
funny.
it
That's
did pretty
funny.
well.
So
Colin, over to you. You
I
have something?
don't let it interact with other people because I have my thing. I want to keep interactions as human as possible, unless it's purely transactional. But in how I relate to it, sometimes I don't know. I give an assignment to Claude and it's Opus 5. I do my best to give it to manage context, memory, everything. And it gives like just this nonsense answers. So I treat it like an employee, but like an employee that I can talk shit to. So I have to say, like, what is
And
this
it
response?
cannot come legally against you that, hey, you use that word
Exactly.
against the
It's
protocol.
like, what is this response? I was expecting a lot more from you. It looks like you lost your brain or something. So I mean, there's no satisfaction in cursing, but it's like this insulting its ability to do something without without
Legal
having any
implications.
exactly without having
Take
any
care
report.
Or
when it
physical
breaks out of its
implication. What if the
box.
guy comes and kick you up like, hey, shut your mouth, you know? AI can't do
When
that.
the AI breaks out of the box, it's going to come after
I
Callan first.
I I did cash in a lot of thank you and please. So
You need to manage the fallout there.
yes.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, Pamela, do you have something you feel like sharing something funny?
Well, not so much something funny, but I would like to say I'm really glad I sat in today. I have smiled during this whole time. I apologize, my camera is off. I'm not really prepared to be on camera today. That's really
No
not
worries.
my level, but it's been great. I love it. I'm excited about using AI every day. I love it, and I want AI to do more every day. That's where I'm coming from.
Excellent, Pamela. No, pleasure to
Yeah.
have you also here. Other
Thank
folks, James Shankranj, do you want to share something funny before you wrap up?
Hey, everyone. No, it was a great session. I think um, a couple of funny things that happened with me with AI for sure. Like earlier in the year, I was trying to prepare like a training material for my team, and I drafted something which was like 30, 40 pages long. I gave it to the AI, and I said, just reformat it and just add stuff on your own and make it look beautiful. It responded back and said the formatting looks good, and it literally gave me back the exact same document, right? and
Oh
and
my.
then I wrote a freaking, and this is the free version of GPT, by the way. And then I wrote a particular paragraph and I said, okay, do this, like Callan, you said it multiple times. It's about setting context. I did that and it barely made any changes. I was so done that I took that document, spent 2 more hours, reformatted it myself, and I'm like, thank you, ChatGPT. But that's just once. I mean, ChatGPT is in my daily life. It helps me a lot. But that one day it frustrated me, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? But yeah, you know,
It's so
that's what it
funny.
is.
Like imagine like we have an ugly looking document and we feel like, okay, let's put everything down, put it onto Claude or ChatGPT. After processing of 5-10 minutes, it gives you the same stuff.
Honestly, the first time I was like really proud of myself. I'm like, oh, whatever I wrote is like AI approved. That's how good I am. But yeah, it wasn't the case.
Plus the waste of tokens.
Waste of token, like exactly like how many carbon we burnt processing that document.
Of course.
Okay, so we're exactly at 5:30 today. So thanks a lot. We're supposed to finish in 45 minutes, but we took 15 minutes more. We're going to do more of these AI Unfiltered, really talking about our lives around AI, but definitely taking out small bits and pieces which we can use on professional world. I would like to thank Kalin to share some of his insights, especially on how AI can help on asset managers. Thanks a lot to Israel, Webhub, Pamela, James, and other folks who join. Next time, please join. We'll have open cameras and we'll talk more. Thank you, folks. Have a
All right.
lovely day
Thank,
ahead. Have a
thank
nice
you.
evening.
Thank you
Bye.
everyone
Take
for the
care.
invitation. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nice talking
Bye.
to you, man.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.